Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie. Living in Asia, more specifically the Philippines, has definitely made me frugal as hell. But I think for all of the right reasons. You see, when I first visited the Philippines, first time ever, no experience, no heads up, no what are you walking into? My father took me around, just driving around just to see the country at night, right? I've seen people living on the streets. You've seen it if you've ever been. The level of poverty in the country is crazy, right? And I told myself, with all due respect when I say it, I could never allow myself to be this poor. Now, when I say this, I understand some people are either born into it or there's circumstances that they just can't help, right? So this is no knock on the people, right? But when I seen it, it scared the hell out of me because I'm like, yo, this is no real life to live. You feel me? This is not the life that I want to live for me. This isn't a check to check like it is in the United States where people are indebted up to their eyeballs in credit and stuff like that. I don't even think the Philippines runs on credit like that, right? So you're not going to be able to have access to credit cards. You're not going to be able to run up things just to, live your day-to-day life in order to make it happen. If you don't have them pesos, you're just not going to be able to buy anything, right? Which just forces people into certain industries or professions. Let's be real. Let's call it for what it is. It forces a lot of young ladies into the prostitution game, or, kids to be forced to go out there and beg on the foreign man and all this stuff, or just people in general and preying on generosity and stuff like that. It puts people in such dire straits. The climate and the environment, it sucks ass, right? And, from the outside looking in, you're like, you have to be blessed or you have to be fortunate or at least appreciative, in my opinion, of what you have when you see the people who have not, right? And that's kind of the energy that I had going into this frugal mindset. You see, most of y'all know in most Asian countries, the people are frugal. In India, it's a very save conscious culture. Save, 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 save. I think China's the same. Probably some other areas as well, but I know China and India for sure, they pride themselves on how much money you can save, right? You can make $1 and save 60 cents, right? Type of energy or type of vibe, and then of course they pride themselves on being able to be in the highest of professions, your doctors, your lawyers, etc., right? But from my perspective, I've always been cheap, but there's a level of cheap that kind of enhanced it when I put myself in a situation wherein I had to see firsthand what life could be like if I wasn't on my game or if I wasn't doing things the right way. Now, keep in mind, for the whole 10 years I was in the country, I was nothing more than a college kid. I was a student living on allowance. I had a little business and stuff like that. It did pretty well, but at the same time, I'm still a student, right? So please keep in mind that the money I'm making at my business is good, but it's not like, something crazy, something amazing, right? At the time. So I've put myself in a mindset that, yo, if I don't do right with my money, I could end up like anybody in a situation like the Philippines, right? If I don't save it, if I don't put it away unless I need it or invest it, right? That came later on in life, the investment aspect. Shout out to my big bro DJ. He know who he is. That's the gang right there. He really put me in a mindset of investing, a couple years back, and I've never looked back since. But before that, it was, put this money away if I don't need it, right? I could go this place, I could go this place, I could have fun here, do this, that, and the other. But at the same time, if you don't need the money, just keep it to the side because you never know when you're going to need it. And you already know my saying, man, it's better to need and not have and have and not need. And in the previous video where we talked about addictions, right? Or vices, or if you don't have any type of self-control in these countries, you can easily go broke. I have seen too many foreigners fall victim to just spending like they've got no common sense. They don't save. They never felt the need to save. I guess they've always thought that the money that they were going to make were always going to come in. It's going to always be that way. Again, if you're a retiree and you got Social Security and some type of pension or something like that, that money is going to consistently come in. this may not apply to you. But at the same time, if you're just somebody who saved up a lot of money and you just committed yourself to, going overseas and trying to make it work, you did the best that you could to make it work, but whatever you saved up is slowly starting to dwindle away. Well, then guess what? It's scary to believe and it's scary to see, but you could very well end up like the people you see on the streets. And I can raise my hand and put it on a stack of Bibles, and I'm sure that you guys can do as well if you've ever been there. Maybe you haven't seen it, maybe you have, but I've even made videos about it, about foreigners going broke in the Philippines, seeing these people on the streets with their little signs and shit. Please help, need food, whatever it may be. And, some people, or I should say some Filipinos more specifically, have definitely put forth an effort to be generous to a lot of these people by allowing them to eat at their carinderias for free and things of that nature. Not necessarily providing boarding and something like that. I've never seen them provide room and board, but I've definitely seen them provide food, right? So it's not as if they look down on you as the foreigner for being in that situation, but I can almost guarantee it's definitely interesting, but it's also a relatable situation. Not necessarily just in the Philippines, but a relatable situation anywhere in the world that you go. Right? Somebody down on their luck, somebody hard up, trying to make it. It's easy for them to say, hey, you know what? Here's a couple of pesos if I got it. Take care of it. Here's some food. I'll give you a rice, piece of chicken, whatever it may be that I have that I can actually afford to give. Knowing that I need to feed my family too. If I can take care of you, I got you. And that's kind of endearing to an extent. But also as a foreigner, I got to look at you crazy if you allow yourself to get that broke in the first place, right? I got to look at you crazy if you allow yourself to go that broke in the first place. How the fuck did that happen? Where did you go wrong? What type of life lesson can we extract from what it is that you're going through? You see, if you just happen to find yourself in a situation and somebody scammed you, it happens. But to scam you out of everything that you have is crazy, right? A little bit of your money, fuck it, charge it to the game. But everything you got, now we have to start doing some self-reflection. Figure out how we can do that. But for me, like I said, I got scammed one good time. And I said, you know what? Let me find better things to do with my money. Right? Let me find better things to do with what I'm trying to accomplish here. Because if you're trying to live long-term anywhere in the world that you're trying to go, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Philippines or even in Southeast Asia. Your money goes a long way. But at the same time, you got to know what to do with the money that you got. Like I told you before, it was all about saving, putting it away, having it, looking at my bank account. Damn, I got these zeros in there looking crazy, right? That's what it was all about in the beginning. Until I found investing, right? And again, I'm not going on a tangent, tell you to invest, but I think you should. But at the same time, now I look at myself and I'm like, shit, my bank account don't mean shit because I'm cash poor. I am hella cash poor. But I like to believe that I'm asset rich, right? Cash poor, asset rich. So I may not have as much money in the bank account as I did before because I've chosen to take that money to put it in a position where it can work for me. That way I don't end up broke like everybody else or everybody else that I've seen in certain situations. I'm trying to come up, man, and I think you guys should too. So living in Asia over a period of time, I promise you, it will change your mindset. It will change your fucking mindset. I don't know in what way it's going to change your mindset. I'm just telling you how it changed mine. It just made me cheaper on myself. I'm actually not cheap on others. Like if I really got it and I could give it for them, I'm glad to do things for them. But at the same time, it made me be cheap on me right now so that I can prepare for a future where I can live like the person I deserve to live. So all we do is put our head down, keep it pushing, and I think and hope that you guys are doing the same, finding a way to make sure that your money works for you and continuously works for you even in retirement or whenever you choose to opt out of whatever it is that you're doing. And understand that there's nothing wrong with being frugal. There's nothing wrong with the idea of saying, hey, man, let me put this dollar somewhere and let it work for me rather than spending it on some bullshit. And y'all spend it on some dumb stuff. Come on now. We all have our vices. We all have that one thing that we spend on that we know we shouldn't spend on, but we do it anyways. Why? Because it's our little bundle of joy, or it's our little satisfaction that we get out of whatever it is that we're doing. If we're busting our ass, if you just happen to be that guy that loves to get you a fifth on a Friday, take it to the head. please do better. But at the same time, we all got our little vices, right? We all got those things that we cheat on because it's just what we like to do. But understand and think about all that little small things that you spend in here and there and how that money could benefit you if you put it in or allocate it in other places. Best way for me to put it. All right. IPA merch, man, listed below this video, man. I appreciate you guys locking in, man. The good doc's trying to get back into the groove of things. I appreciate y'all for at least listening to me rant a little bit. And I hope that you were able to extract something out of this video, man. It's my time, effort, and energy, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out.